All right, this is meeting Ginn and Reyes from Black Flag. And here's the signed. This is Greg's signature. This was at the Trocadero. Or wait, was it? It says Union Transfer. Okay, I thought it was. That can't be. No, I know it was at the Trocadero. Anyways, um, this is June 17th, 2013 in Philadelphia. Maybe it was at the Union Transfer. I swear it seemed like the Trocadero. Either way, I was on the top. Maybe it's because I was on the top level. But okay, so seeing Black Flag. This was the Black Flag lineup when Reyes first came back in 2013. If you remember, there was this big my war. It was a war between Black Flag and Flag because I think Flag performed first or performed live first or did something at some kind of descendant show. And Greg, like, I don't know, they were in a lawsuit, but Greg Ginn seemed to get pissed. And then all of a sudden, Black Flag was coming back with Ron singing. And anyways, we get to Philly and we're at some place getting something to eat and drink and whatever. And there's a dead body in the road. Welcome to Philadelphia. That is, I mean, that's the first thing I remember about the day. Um, anyways, we get to the show, and the opening band is called "Good for You," which I have Bamo, their vinyl right here. So if you know, where's the damn? See, I'm sure you guys can't see this. I don't have any kind of lighting in here right now, but if you see the lineup. So what this is basically this lineup here is like the current lineup of Black Flag now, because you got Greg and Mike Vallely, um, and then it's just the rhythm section always changes. So, but either way, the opening band was Good for You, and then basically Mike and Ron switched places. I think it was the exact same band, drummer and bass player, and of course Greg, for both bands. And what's funny is if you have the Good For You album and then the new Black Flag out, or the newest with Ron on it, where the hell is that? I got that somewhere. Um, uh, I should have had this ready, but either way, I have it somewhere. But what it sounds like is Greg just cranked out like 50 some songs, and Ron took some and Mike took some, and they just made, but it's almost the same band, and it would have been a lot better, both albums, if they had a better drummer, if you have either one of those albums. But anyway, so Good For You played basically that album I just showed, played the whole album. Um, they weren't bad. Like I said, the main thing that stuck out is the drummer sucked. If they had like a heart, Black Flag has a whole bunch of history of great drummers, so why wouldn't you take the time to have a good drummer in your band? And there would have been a line of people, that would have liked to do that. And so good for you. I just remember Mike had long hair and he had the mic stand the whole time. He wasn't like trying to do the Rollins thing as much as he is now. And then so Black Flag came out. Like I said, it was the same band then, and then Ron came out. And what I can say is it seemed a little sloppy. Their history, is that they played like so many. They back in the day would practice every day, including Christmas and this and that. And it just seemed a little sloppy. It seemed, I mean, Greg's guitar playing was great. Ron seemed a little unprepared. He was a little overweight. But it was cool to see him. I mean, I loved Decline of Western Civilization, and that's the guys who were in the lineup basically, minus Chuck and Robo, replaced with hired guns basically. um so it was cool to see, but if you want to watch a YouTube video with the Raw days, it wasn't, it wasn't what it was. So anyway, the getting to the meeting part. Okay, so after they were done, I go out. I was with my buddy Hammer. He's played drums. We played. He played drums in the band we were in together, and my girlfriend at the time. We went around the back, and there's like a cage or something like that, security. Oh, and let me backtrack. I was outside a little while earlier, and Mike Vallely was out just walking around, and I was like, hey, man, what's up? And I have the Good For You album. I think it's pretty good. And I remember I got a picture with him. He had the Black Flag windbreaker I used to have on, and he said, yeah, people are telling me that this is the sexy version of My War, something like that. And I was like, okay. But, and so then you go around and there's like some cage or something that shows over. I don't know if the buses were there or what. See security, and I'm like, hey, where's Black Flag at, or where's Ron at, or blah, blah. And they're like, oh, those guys aren't here, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know. And I may had to do something with the girl that I was with, or we were with. She was like a one of those models or published, she wasn't bad looking, put it that way. I don't know if that what it was, but no, Ron did come out, and I said, oh, they said you weren't here. And he's like, oh, they're just doing their job, blah, blah, but Ron was seemed like a really super nice guy. And, it's just like great to meet all that stuff you say to somebody like that. And then Greg came out with a lit joint and just handed it to me. And I of course partook. I mean, I don't know why he thought I did, or how either way, I thought that was a pretty cool way to meet Greg Ginn, and I gave it back to him, and I was just like, I remember saying your guitar playing is better than ever, it sounds amazing. And he said, well, yeah, I've been doing it for a long time now. And then at that time, Black Sabbath's new album, when they reunited with Ozzy again, 13 came out, and I knew he was a Black Sabbath fan. And I said, what do you think of the new Sabbath album? And he goes, well, I only like him with Dio. And I was like, okay. And we took some pictures, as you see in the thumbnail, and that was it. That's the last time I saw Black Flag. They've come around a couple times with Mike Vallely, but I feel like I've seen that lineup or seen them already anyway, because I saw Good For You, and but probably not going to do a video on the next thing I'm talking about. But I did see Flag like 3 months later, and if at the time you saw Black Flag with Ron, and then they were like competing. I mean, they were like touring at the same time, and then you saw Flag. I don't need to tell you which one was better, and immediately the sound. I mean, um, you can tell it's from Chuck Dukowski, because I'm telling you, I've seen Slayer, and they were heavier than Slayer as far as like low end. Something was just so heavy, it's this wall of noise, and I think that represents what people describe the original Black Flag, especially during the 5-member lineup. And there was a time where Dez took over vocals and only had one guitar playing, and it wasn't as heavy. But then when anytime Keith was doing the vocals, and they did My War, and you have Bill Stevenson on drums and Chuck Dukowski on bass, and then Dez was guitar, and then it was so heavy, and the whole concert was great. So I'm gonna have to give it to, if you're talking about that, give it the Flag. I mean, if you just thought that you would take the Flag lineup and then add Greg Ginn and take the dude from the Descendants out, they could still do some pretty cool shit. That's never going to happen, obviously, with all the lawsuits and the bad blood. I think that's going to be there forever. So, that's my video on meeting Greg and Ron. They're very cool and took pictures, and that's it. It's been a while since I've done a video. I will try to think of another one to do. And here as a bonus is I got this at Wildwood, or no, I got it at Ocean City, New Jersey. But I never saw that before. I have obviously a whole bunch of Misfits shit, but I was like, wow, man, I never saw that one. It's like a big poster. It's probably one of Erie's prints, but they're in Hollywood. So, all right, thanks for checking it out.